Hello there, my name is HW and thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. In the last video we talked about pick dynamic, the pick parameter. What the heck did that do? And what we saw was it did something very subtle. It really had to do with how much pick noise is in the sound. And it really does a great job of replicating, if you have a softer pick, what a harder pick would sound like, and vice versa. I found myself dialing in more of that pick parameter when I was using kind of a single coil sound, trying to get more of a finger sound in there. I really enjoyed the increased pick sound. It adds just the slightest little bit of presentness, not presence, not presence like high end, but just presentness on just the initial little pick sound of the amplifier. I'm still playing that. I'm still in a different profile actually, the PD100 1.3, and it's sort of a Marshall-y thing like this. Check this out. This is what it sounds like. I'm going to turn that tube screamer off. I had a little boost on. It's a cool sound. It's a nice little rhythm sound. Now I want to show you what happens when we introduce direct mix. Now if you're anything like me, you may be thinking direct mix, don't put direct sound anywhere near me. I don't want any of that, because you're probably thinking it sounds like this. I'm going to defeat the cab. I probably just clip the input. Anyway, it sounds terrible. No, that's not direct. You're probably thinking maybe it sounds like this, my guitar direct into the interface. No, it's nothing like that. The direct mix on this, although it might imply it's just putting in some direct signal, maybe in parallel or something, it's really doing something else. Again, this is one of those parameters, I'm not sure exactly how they're achieving this, but it is fairly usable. I at first was apprehensive to start thinking I would want any direct sound in there, but hold down the amplifier button, page over, and you're going to find direct mix as the last parameter on the second page. It's right there, clarity, tube shape, tube bias, and direct mix. Now on most Tone Junkie profiles, I'm going to say some other guys too. I can name some names because I'm like 99% sure they almost never touch direct mix. But some of the other big guys, you might notice a trend. Michael Britt, Amp Factory, a lot of people. You might notice there's very little direct mix dialed in most packs, Tone Junkie included. I did, however, in the JM Proto 1 pack, which is an amp that John Mayer toured with. It's a John Mayer's prototype 2 rock that I profiled. I did have some direct mix in there. And I added it because I thought it sounded so good. And here's what it sounds like. Here's what it does. Here is my guitar sound, just a couple chords without the direct mix. Now I'm going to increase the direct mix fairly aggressively just because I want you to hear what it sounds like. It starts at 0, and so I can't have less direct mix or anything. And I'm going to go to 5. You might notice it increased the gain a little bit. It's actually, so it is adding some signal sort of to the original signal. We're getting a little more volume here, and I have a fairly aggressive setting. Let me tell you what I think it's usable for. I'm going to go to a neck pickup, and this is a Strat, so it's got some high end. I'm going to turn it off, and here's what my guitar sounds like. Okay, cool. Sounds like a Strat with like an EL34-esque amp on. Cool, normal sound. Now I'm going to add in some direct mix. No direct mix. Direct mix. No direct mix. Direct mix. No direct mix. Again, it's increasing the gain a little bit. You don't want to be fooled because hearing, we have a tendency to prefer slightly louder tones as we hear them as brighter and things like that. This can increase the gain a little bit, but what I hear it doing is adding in sort of a more clean signal that really helps sort of make the notes more pronounced. In that way, it's a little similar to the pick attack, but it's coming in and actually it doesn't decay right away like the pick sound did. It is sort of affecting some of the other parts of the sound. It's a very interesting parameter. It's a parameter that, again, I enjoy when I'm playing more stuff like this. That's with the direct mix. Here's none. Again, with the direct mix. So again, these are very subtle parameters, and they really almost more speak to the feel of the player. What do you prefer? I don't know that any of these are really identifiable in a mix. I really don't. And I mean, the direct mix, even at 10, I'm not sure that you would ever hear this sound. I'm not sure that you would ever hear that sound and identify, oh, that's definitely an electric guitar with some direct mix added in. I mean, it just doesn't sound like what you would expect. I have taken some sounds that are a little darker, maybe a little more mid-rangey, and using the pick parameter and the direct mix, been able to sort of dial in a little more, this is a weird word I'm going to use, but a little more definition without changing the definition control. Or maybe I should say I've been able to dial in a little more pick attack and a little more just a presence on the note, but I'm not really talking about EQ, just sort of how the attack notes, maybe more presence on the attack of the note. And I think using pick attack and, using the pick parameter and the direct mix, it really affects sort of the pick attack and how those notes come through. Again, guys, I wish these were parameters that I could tell you, here's the best place to put it, here's where you should always have it, it always works well with a Tele or a Les Paul, or it does this or that. But these are really things you dial into taste, and they really start to get on pieces of the EQ and of the guitar sound that are very sort of getting into the woods. It's about the feel now and the minutia. We've covered definition control. I mean, that's a huge control in the Kemper. If you don't know where that is, check out the past Tone Junkie videos. It's right there in the amplifier section. We've talked about, power sagging and the compressor that comes after the amplifier but before the cabinet. We've talked about the EQ. We've talked about pre and post EQ. We've talked about the cabinet section and high and low shift. Those are all super useful into making different profiles work for your guitar, matching it to your guitar. More depth in the bass, less depth in the bass, less extended high end, more extended high end, more brightness, more definition, more clarity, less clarity, more gain, less gain, mid-range before the amplifier or adding it after the amplifier before the cabinet, compressor before everything or in between the amp and cab. We talked about so much stuff, and these things are really, they're parameters that we just are not used to using. And they're parameters that are sometimes not making a huge difference. I mean, they're definitely audible, but is this going to take your tone from bad to good? No. Is it going to take it from good to great? I don't know, but it may take your tone from tone you're like 8 happy with out of 10 to like 9.5, 10 happy with, because now the feel is really dialed in. I've been HW. Thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. HW out.